Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
I'm Jordan.
Hey.
Dude, I have a list for you.
You have a list?
Not a lot of stuff
That can't
on
be
here,
good.
but I want to see how you feel about this.
Okay.
This is my, the list gets longer and longer, but these are my top 4 picks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that must go so crazy when you say it or do it.
Oh, so it really goes crazy when you say it or do it.
It's gonna, like stuff that's like, if you did it or said it, oh, it's gonna go crazy. That's gotta feel awesome.
Is there any other, like just saying it? So like I could say it right now and it would go crazy?
Nah, you gotta be in the right setting.
You gotta be in the right setting.
Sometimes you gotta do it. So
Got
bear
it.
that in mind. Standing in a lavish penthouse with your back to the door, gazing out the window, and then when someone walks in saying, "This city must change." Or like, "This city is a cesspool," or, you know,
Or
something.
the city needs me.
Yes. Yeah, and they're walking in and you don't have to turn around, but you know who they are.
Oh, that's big. Like you got your hands behind your back.
Yes, dude.
You're looking over the balcony. They walk in.
Maybe hit this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or even just you're looking up and you go, I was expecting you.
Yes, dude. Marble flooring too, so they
Yeah.
hear your shoes hit them.
You're late.
And then I was just throwing that out every kind of 30 seconds just in case they walked in.
You've been hitting that for a while. The security camera footage of you is just going, you're late. Nope, that's not.
Stupid. Not like that.
Okay, they're getting closer.
No.
You're late.
Yes.
The city needs me.
Just you get them all out.
You're hitting your dialogue out. It's like when a dog doesn't know what trick you want.
Spinning. Oh, you're
Spinning
late.
around.
Oh, the city needs
you're
me.
late. The city needs me.
It's a cesspool.
I'm Batman? I don't know.
Anastasia, I found out on nights that this is not true, but I really, truly, genuinely thought there was a line in Because I Got High where he says, "I could have painted the Mona Lisa, but then I got high."
Jordan made us look it up on Sad Boys Nightz.
He doesn't say that at all? Does he paint
Not
anything?
even close.
Once. Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. No, I could have been a pretty good painter, but then I got high. It's not even that.
I mean, it would be very arrogant of him to say, "That's why I didn't
I
paint
might have
the
been
Mona."
good at art, but then I got high. That on today's episode of Sad Boys Nightz, we do that, and then we talk about Final Fantasy VII and the political ramifications, and then I tell this. I give a little book report on the New York Times piece about unmasking the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto.
And that was a little bit of reading Shakespeare. It might be the most highbrow
There was a little
episode
bit of reading
Sad Boys
Shakespeare.
Nights of all time. That's on patreon.com, Sad Boys, by the way. But don't go there yet. Stick around.
But number 2 on the list of
Number 2 on the list, I have being the first dad that ever said, "We hated it," when they come to pick up the plates and everyone's eating all the food. Or supplementarily, thing won't scan, must be free.
being the first dad to say, "And boy, are my arms tired."
Oh,
When you get pinned
people's
from the
hair
trip,
probably got
you
blown
flew,
back
you
by
flew
that,
here.
dude. Oh my god!
Boy, my arms
Thanks,
tired.
hungry. I'm dead. Oh my god! Like the jacket gets blown off by that laugh.
That's like dad ulting. It's like that and like starting the grill.
Yeah. Building up your synergy skill level.
Yeah.
This one,
Your synergy skill with you and the grill.
my kids. This one, I don't have a scenario for it, but I'm picturing, say, like it's a beautiful kingly hall. And I'm sat on my throne, and like one of my more indignant sons walks up. You know, he's got like long blonde hair and a rapier. He's like arrogant, you know. And he walks up. His name is Jarvis.
Don't like that.
And he walks up. And he's ugly. His penis is small, and no one likes him, right?
Wait.
And he walks up and he says,
That
like,
sounds awful.
This throne should be mine, father. And then I go like, he's like talking, and I go, "Stop! You forget yourself, boy."
I do like you forget yourself because the only other time I've heard it was in Hamilton.
Dude, and it goes hard.
It does go hard in Hamilton.
You forget yourself.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how good that feels? And then they go like it works. They go, "Oh, right. Yeah, I freaking forgot myself."
Or saying something about your bloodline.
Yeah.
You're an embarrassment to our bloodline.
You must follow in the path of your ancestry. Or being like a sensei that's guiding a like exiled prince and being like, "You must live up to your bloodline."
That's
something.
true. Yes.
Eugenics are good.
That one doesn't hit as hard.
What was that? Sensei, did you say something? No.
I said Mugenics is pretty good. I played an indie
that's good,
recently. I mean, if you can forgive some of the unsavory cameos.
I wasn't really a Binding of Isaac guy, but or really even Super Meat Boy.
Well, look, after Indie Game the movie, I thought to myself, this guy's definitely got talent, but he's a little problematic.
Kind of annoying.
I miss the coder dude. What happened to him?
Where's Phil Fish and Jonathan Blow?
Where are all those boys?
Oh, bummer
about, and I was really excited about Fez 2.
Fez 2 coming out the first year of the next generation of people post-war.
I remember being on Twitter. It was called Twitter back then. Still is, by the way.
It's the everything happy probably.
I remember watching Phil Fish crash out.
Yeah, it was
I feel like I witnessed it live. Like he deactivated his account, and he was like, "I'm done. I'm not owned. I'm done." Fez 2. Didn't he tweet Fez 2 is canceled?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Forget it. I'll just die.
Yeah, I guess you hate me.
Great.
That probably felt amazing.
Oh,
shutting off the internet. He unplugged the internet. Yeah. Guess I'll trashing your own game to own the libs.
Oh, dude, burning down my own house so you can't come for a party. Destroyed. Eating all the food at the barbecue.
Actually, yeah, my game's being deleted that day, so I can't release it.
Oh, no. Oh, sweetie, you wanted to hang out? Well, guess what? You tested my patience.
Dude, there's an alternate reality somewhere where everything's the same except for Phil Fish is like Ryan Coogler levels of charismatic and liked.
A beautiful alternate universe where Fez 2 came out and people were like, yeah, it's all right. It's not bad, I guess. And Phil Fish was like, I appreciate the feedback.
I appreciate the feedback, actually. And I invite it.
And Jonathan Blow was like sociable.
Yeah.
And has beautiful hair.
Long flowing locks. And those are the only differences.
Oh, fuck. That sounds kind of good. The last one I have, and this is more circumstantial, is blowing the smoke off of a recently fired revolver.
Oh, yeah. Does anybody do that?
I don't want to shoot.
And also, I don't know enough about guns. Do revolvers really smoke like that?
It's a little much.
Yeah.
It's a little too much smoke.
Yo, chill.
It feels old fashioned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fanning the hammer, right? And then I realized I've been riddled with bullets because I'm not good at shooting.
Yeah.
So I missed every shot, and
you actually hit the gun backwards.
They shoot me in the head.
There was like a episode of John Oliver a couple weeks back about I believe it was about like sting operations with cops and stuff.
A sting operation is like when a sting and an operation have a baby. But seriously,
But seriously, we need to talk about Turkey's prime minister.
Here's an elaborate ending to the episode with a hashtag you can use.
This is a guy in a big suit. and you're probably thinking I wouldn't. Who would buy that suit? We bought the suit. Yeah. We bought the suit.
That is kind of the vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I like John Oliver, and I shout out to Allie Barthwell, friend of the show, internet mutual of mine, who's a writer on that show, and also the writer of my favorite Bachelor recaps.
Wait, so he did an episode about?
But yeah, I think it was about like stings and stuff. It was about a horrible thing in our world, and it was about how cops like entrapment, how cops like trap people, and one of the instances was like people were like charged with like conspiracy to commit this crime, but like the links that the cops would go to like lead these people to commit the crime was so far. Like none of them had done a crime like that before.
It's literally one of the guys. They're doing conspiracy.
The fact that I'm recalling from it was one of the guys had a gun that was over 100 years old, and the bullets that he had with him didn't fit the gun. And
it's a cannonball.
Yeah, and I was like, 100-year-old gun? That's an artifact. Put that in a museum. That belongs in a museum.
Let me have that one. Dude, he's just gonna kill someone with it?
I mean, yeah. After the cops were like, you should use this. You should do this. And then they were in like a low-income neighborhood and in a really like rough spot. And then the cops were like, hey, after weeks and weeks of massaging you to convince you to commit this crime, you should do this. And they're like, okay. And then this gun doesn't fire.
Like, here's a Venetian scimitar.
Yeah.
Go and figure out how to use this.
They also, like, in some of those instances, they like help them procure the weapons and stuff. And I'm like, this is so fucked.
I saw a really good documentary,
we know this happens, but
like ages ago, about these young men, I want to say like environmental activists,
about me and my boy Barrett.
Yeah, Avalanche.
Yeah, it was about Avalanche. We're my boys in Midgar heading up to the freaking reactor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I played that.
Yeah.
I saw that documentary also.
And they were going to protests and stuff, like the normal stuff. And then they met while doing these protests an
Sephiroth.
older guy.
Oh.
So they're like 17, 18. The older guy's like 27. And
That's Barrett.
He's
He's got a kid.
is like, hey, you guys seem cool.
Me and my boy, I'm
There's
Cloud.
a
He's
special group
Sec-
we're putting
Secretary.
together that's like going to get more involved in like policy and like really making a change in like environmental stuff and like and
Mako.
like agricultural like factory farming and that sort of
Summoning
thing.
material.
Yeah, material
And-
condensed.
They spend like 2 to 3 years in this group that this older guy put together. He starts getting more and more militant, and they're
Classic
kind of
Barrett.
following his lead. He teaches them how to make Molotov cocktails.
I could figure that out.
And
I think I could crack
never.
that code.
I guess there is a. I never really thought about the.
Yeah, it's burnable rag
Is
and
it
burnable
Molotov
bottle.
cocktail just straight up an item in Final Fantasy VII, or is it something like that?
Yeah, there's a Molotov
It
cocktail.
might be
and
Molotov
and a
cocktail.
regular grenade.
Yeah, because like they. Yeah, okay. Anyway, continue. You're not so far not talking about Final Fantasy VII.
But heavily implied.
and then they get their go bags ready with like, you know,
Bust a
masks
sword.
and stuff. They're at this point like 19 or something.
Mithril staff.
And they get ready to go. They have their backpacks.
Bertha.
The guy pulls up. He's like, "Are you guys ready?" They come out. He arrests them, and a bunch of he's like, "I'm FBI, and I'm arresting you guys as a
Crazy.
environmental terrorist group." And they're like, "Wait, what? You made us do like." You didn't make us do it. We did it on our own, but you showed us how to do all this stuff and planned it.
It's crazy because when you include all of that, like I feel like you're poisoning the well, but then they have a lot of legal protections. So like entrapment, like you need a lot of evidence and apparently to prove entrapment. And
Well,
so
one of the kids pled guilty, went to prison for like 5 years, and then got out. The other kid was like, "This isn't right. I'm not pleading guilty." Stayed in prison, like might still be in prison for all I know.
I feel like the relevant question to people that will people will posit like, okay, so you don't want a force that can stop that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, if that kind of stuff was going on, they should probably go and do those Why are they involved in manufacturing?
Right.
a
why
big
are they
thing
creating like
and not going after it?
It
supposedly
doesn't
happening?
not feel like a thought crime. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Right.
not feel like okay, we can't exactly read thoughts, but like if I can create this self-fulfilling prophecy of convincing someone to do a crime that I think they should do based on their socioeconomic or color of their skin,
A post cog.
then I knew it all along. You were a criminal.
I said that earlier before as well.
I did the crime with you up until the end, but actually
Psych.
it was a
But
trap.
I'm actually a good boy.
I'm
was
actually good.
Fucking joking, dude. Are you serious? You were actually.
I was doing a bit, dude. That's pisses me off. But
Especially the Molotov cocktail thing. I can do that in a fucking hour.
what I will say though is that this kind of happens in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, a little bit. Have we mentioned we played the?
We do talk about this more in Sad Boyz
Yeah,
Nightz,
if
but
you want to hear all about it,
the one
Sad
A
Boyz
thing
Nightz.
little bit of Hamlet.
with a little bit of Hamlet, just a tiny little soliloquy,
Moose-boosh.
a moose-boosh of Hamlet.
Is a moose-boosh like it's like a bit of food, maybe?
yeah, it's amusing your boosh, your mouth.
Oh,
Boosh means mouth.
no, that makes sense.
Found Meliboosh.
There was that.
Tais-toi jaloux. That means shut up, jealous.
Jealous. Shut up, jealous.
There is like a thing at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII that happens that is so much like real life because the you're like in an eco-terrorism cell and you sabotage these like reactors and they're like bad for the environment because they're like tapping the Earth's natural resources, Mako, and you engineer a tiny bomb that's meant to just like fuck up the reactor's functionality, and that's the only thing. And then the issue, and constantly the issue, is that you don't realize how horrible your OPSEC is and how horrible you like are at not being detected. So so the evil megacorp, the essentially like mega oil like AI, like I'm trying to think of what it would be today. It's like Amazon or whatever,
and which is
Amazon BP.
Your city is its parking lot. Like
Yeah.
everything is literally
The president lives at Amazon.com headquarters, and they blow up the whole thing and harm people in the city so that they can false flag you and be like, wow, those terrorists really did a number on us. Wow, we really, these guys are horrible. And then Jesse never finds out.
Yeah, but Jesse believes that they're responsible
The
for
entire
it.
time she believes she's responsible for that.
Which, yeah, you know, whatever. She's going to have to tank it.
Speaking of tanks.
And bear it.
Okay.
Anastasia.
Yeah.
If I walked in, like I walked into your apartment sometime and it was just like, hey, I brought you, you know, milk or whatever. You were like, I'm hungry for milk. You know, you wanted to make cheese.
Hungry for milk?
And I want to make cheese out of milk?
I'm doing an example of like something we've done before so you can reference it someday.
Okay.
Okay, so I walk in your
I'm
apartment.
hungry and I want to make cheese.
You've never been to my house.
Yes, but this is why.
Why, if you were hungry, would you choose a process of making cheese out of milk? And also, cheese isn't really that's not really a meal. Okay, continue.
Okay, continue. Let's get to the premise.
Continue, fine.
Sorry.
No, I get it. I'm wrong.
You're right. You're
I'm
normal.
wrong. You're right. You're always right. Continue.
Oh.
You come over, you bring me milk.
You bring me milk, and obviously
I make cheese.
You make cheese.
I have all
what
this
you do.
cheesecloth.
No,
Gotta
this sounds
use
a
it.
little weird. I just come over, I say, hey. I'm like, yo, what's up? And you're like, cheese, please. Grommet. Fuck off.
You're like, that's weird.
I walk in, and then you're looking out the window, right? I walk in, I'm like, Anastasia, you know, what's up? What do you say? And it can't be the world is changing, blah, 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 blah. It has your own iconic phrase. Arms behind your back. You're like,
The jacarandas are in bloom.
Oh.
all right.
Oh wait, I want to try. I want to try mine.
What?
I'm in exactly the same situation.
Okay, I'm
exactly
walking in, I got milk. Hey man, I got your milk from cheese you wanted to bathe in or whatever.
I love cheese.
Okay. Should I leave? I mean, I can just leave it on the ground.
And I'm hungry for cheese.
I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna get going, man.
Are my ears working or is the cheese calling?
There's no one here.
Wait, or are my ears working or
is the cheese calling?
Oh, it feels good as fuck for a DoorDash driver to drop something off and you say it. I've been expecting you.
Wait, I got another one. Give me 1 second. Okay, so you're bringing me lunch, and you made me PB&J.
I got you milk.
And then when I ask you the next question, you respond yes. Okay.
Hey, I got you lunch. It's PB&J.
Amazing. Did you cut off the crust?
Yeah, I cut it off.
Good, because nothing gets between me and that bread.
Is that why you wanted me to cut it off for this joke? For this moment?
Do you have milk as well?
Yeah, I brought the
Good,
milk.
I want to make some cheese.
Okay, fine. For my PB&J.
I kind of had a situation recently. I often leave my door open when it's nice out, and I just have my screen door closed.
Yeah, okay, got it.
All right.
And so it's like I can see outside. The breeze comes in. It's very nice.
Like a
right?
dog.
Yeah, like a dog.
That's nice.
And I will often watch a movie with my friends on Discord who don't live in LA. So they're spread out all over the US. We have little movie nights together. It's very fun. So I'm watching a movie called The Plumber. It's an Australian film. It's really weird.
There's
And
poo-poo in the toilet.
I'm like
This is
screaming
gross.
into my computer. I have like headphones on.
I need someone to help with all this
I'm like
poo-poo.
cackling. I'm like,
Oh, you're laughing. I thought you were too scared.
I was screaming.
no.
Oh, a toilet.
You know me. When I talk, it's pretty much screaming anyway. So
You have registers.
I'm like being a weirdo. And all of a sudden I look over and there's a lady.
Oh.
There's a little lady in my doorway looking
Little
through
old
my
lady?
screen door and looking at her phone. And I get up and I go, oh, hi, can I help you? And she's like, I'm looking for Ingrid. And I'm like, oh, that's my upstairs neighbor. Just go around the corner and like go upstairs.
Anybody that's listening, Door that's often open. Upstairs neighbor's name is Ingrid. Los Angeles County. We're triangulating down a little bit. Anastasia, blood type O.
No.
5'2".
5'2"?
Oh, you're sitting.
Oh, I'm 5'7", actually.
Fucking shit.
I'm so embarrassed because I'm like, what horrors did this woman witness?
Ooh, I love it when he's plumbing the toilet.
Okay.
That's what you look like watching.
Also, I'm like,
Everyone's having fun watching my movie.
I was wildly unkempt.
That was what I heard what she said. Yeah. I've got microphones outside of your home.
Yeah. What was the unkemptness at play?
My hair was crazy. I was wearing little shorts because it was warm.
Tank top and shorts. That's awful.
You freaking
Did you lose your mind?
Are you crazy? And the door was open.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I know.
Where the old ladies can see?
Yeah.
Ingrid's there, huh?
No, Ingrid has actually also come to my door on occasion and been like, hello?
You gotta close that door.
Oh, no, also, a lot of people in your life are very meek.
I know. Well, it's like they meek beget the meek.
I do think it's because they're like, should I knock? Like it's just a
there's nothing to
screen
knock
door,
on.
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I did. I will admit something. I was at Jacob's. We were both at housewarming at Jacob's place,
Tasting all the furniture.
Speaking of screen doors, I had a drink in my hand and I walked straight into a screen door.
That's true. You did get owned, I heard.
And
I've done that before, and it hurts 2 ways.
it mostly hurt the one way, which was the pride.
Yeah.
of it all. Yeah.
Spirit damage.
I've
you got
hit-
staggered.
Yeah.
I hit my
instantly.
nose straight on before, and it hurt. So it hurt my.
I mean, when I'm Pinocchio.
Were you telling fibs? I did have a moment where I walked into Jacob's new place. In your kitchen, on one of the walls is a big mirror. It's like a fully reflective wall with windows next to it, so you're not gonna, it's very clearly just a mirror mounted on the wall. I walk in, and for some reason my brain cannot process the fact that it is flanked by 2 mirrors. I guess I think it's a hallway. And I look into it, and I see Eddie having a conversation. I went like, oh great, Eddie's here. That's fun. I walk over, I grab a drink, and then I turn back and I go like, on instinct, like when a cat sees a mark on a wall and it thinks it's a spider. I just stood there, and Eddie is standing next to me because that was his reflection.
Oh.
And not only that, because I had not yet processed that's what's going on in a full way, I went like, brain, Eddie next to me. His brother must be here. And wearing the same clothes.
Right.
And I said to him,
And
you know
they
what
look-
twins are?
they
I went,
look so
"Tony,
much alike."
oh." I was Tony, what up?
Wagwan.
Dude. I was a little fuzzy, I was a little sleepy, but it was truly one of those like, this is permanent. This is the amount of cells my brain has left. It's deteriorating. This is not a 2015 Jordan mistake. I'm 2008. This episode of Sad Boys is sponsored by Saily eSIM.
Saily is a new eSIM service app brought to you from the creators of NordVPN, where you can choose from several affordable eSIM data plans in over 200 countries.
If you've ever been lost abroad and you desperately need an internet connection and there's no Wi-Fi in sight, then you'll understand why you need a local eSIM.
An eSIM provides an internet connection wherever you travel, plus saves you money on roaming fees.
You can avoid tricky, sneaky SIM scams, which happen quite a bit while you're traveling. Again, I don't want to say that it happened to me, except for the fact that it did. It has happened several times. Sometimes you get a physical SIM from a seemingly realistic and reliable vendor, pop it in your phone, and it's doing nothing, and also they're gone, and you're already on a train. You can avoid that by getting an eSIM from Saily that doesn't require a physical SIM card.
For frequent travelers, you can save with Saily Ultra, which provides the same seamless experience with VIP perks, including 30 gigabytes of international high-speed eSIM data, cashback in Saily credits, and exclusive extras like a NordVPN subscription.
And you only need to install the Saily eSIM once, so that when you purchase data for a new destination, you don't have to install a new eSIM for each new country. It's ready to go.
You can even get a global eSIM plan that covers your data needs for 121 countries in just one plan.
With Saily's built-in security features, you can change your virtual location, block ads to save data, and limit online trackers so you can browse with confidence.
Get an exclusive 15% discount on Saily eSIM data plans. Just download the Saily app and use code SADBOYS at checkout.
That's 15% off of data plans in the Saily app with code SADBOYS. Thanks again to Saily
For sponsoring this episode.
But for those wondering, by the way, Ollie is sulking. He was very cuddly throughout the episode we just recorded.
Yeah, if you want to see cuddly Ollie, you've got to go to Patreon. But right now, he's so grumpy.
He was very growly, and so
as if we didn't give him treats.
I took him on a little walk, and we got back, and he was sulking on the chair, and now he's sulking under the couch. I tell you, I'm putting him right back in the basket that the stork brought him in.
He's getting an earful when you get
lost. That's true.
You're going to tan his hide, as my mom would say.
That is extremely... Well, that means she's going to skin you alive. She's going to skin you alive.
Make you into leather.
And turn your skin into leather.
She would do that?
Okay, I don't want to out my mom, but her
she's
threats
Dexter.
were... My mom was terrifying. She is to this day. If you walked in...
What kind of...
She's short. She's 5'2".
That can be scarier.
She's a tiny Cuban.
Because it's like condensed.
With big her hair is way
Would you call her
curlier.
like the miniature wife?
I would call her the miniature wife on Now on Peacock.
Now on Peacock. Now streaming.
Her hair, she has like big curly hair.
We don't know, but it is helpful to know.
Sure, I guess.
And
like a
she
police
would say stuff like, "Don't make me knock your teeth out." And I'm going to tan your hide.
Do you
and
think
that kind of
Don't
stuff.
Make Me Knock Your Teeth Out maybe has like, it's like maybe a little bit less caustic in Spanish?
No.
Okay. It's exactly the same.
Right, okay,
No.
cool.
In Spanish, it translates to, I'm going to skin you alive.
Don't make me turn you into a lamp.
My mom, I think she came from a,
Different time.
household. Like her parents were like actually quite abusive.
Right, so it's like
she toned it down for us, but still it's very scary.
A lot of the dirt got through on the sifting kind of thing. Yeah. A lot of terminology I remember growing up with, because there's a lot of like, a phrase that would have been found by like Shakespeare, and now it's just like matriculated into day-to-day West Country British living. And I remember one, so the classic thing to make fun of people from the Midlands and the West Country is you go like, "Ooh are," and that's like being a farmer. Like, "Oh, ooh are, go see my cows," and it's like, okay, well that is right.
Wait.
Do
Sorry.
make that noise?
Are they saying you are?
It's a OOARR. It's like
OOARR.
yeah. Ooh are. It's no words involved. Just I think R because it's the phonetic like R pronunciation.
It's
Almost
just
sounds
farmer
like something
noises.
Goofy would say. It's just unintelligible farmer noises.
It is literally. It's so because my whole life I'm just like, oh, that's a good impression of us, and then I was like, wait, this is just nothing. This is going bleh, bleh. But we would make that noise, and then sometimes, if somebody makes that like that little sound to make fun of you, the only thing we would have to do back is go, "You are." And that was like the back and forth.
That was your comeback jokes.
That was owning them. It was like doing the thing again.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked. Also, you're like my honey roast lamb. That's a good one.
Okay, those are so different.
It's very affectionate.
One is an onomatopoeia, I guess.
You are.
And the other one is like a kind of a weird tongue-in-cheek joke question mark.
It's like it's an affectionate like my honey roast lamb. It's like somehow.
Oh.
It's very Hobbiton. It's very Hobbit.
Dipper's being fed, I think.
Oh. I love Dipper's like Darth Vader where you can hear him breathing. That's how you know he's nearby. Because he's drinking water.
He's also 7 feet tall. It always sounds like he's knocking over like building blocks or something.
Yeah, that's like Lego tumbling.
He's a bit of a Godzilla.
He's a kaiju of himself.
So speaking of disasters, like those of kaiju and Godzilla. Sorry, I'm still trying. I wanted to talk about something because I recently heard about this. Are you familiar with PLEX?
Yes.
It's apparently a company that has a lot of employees. I thought it was like just a little piracy app or something.
Yeah, it's like a private server hosting, right?
Yeah.
Like
well, it's like the front end for your private server.
Yeah. So like my experience with PLEX has exclusively been like friends of ours saying like, "Oh, you haven't watched X anime? I have it on my Plex. I'll just invite you to my Plex."
Don't worry, I'm the king of the pirates. I'm Monkey D. Luffy, actually. Yeah. And so we used to work in tech, so we've been on our fair share of company retreats, but our company retreats are like Angel Island for half of a day.
Just a different part of the bay.
Like go to a different part of the bay for half of a day, get a water bottle that has your name inscribed on it, and then go home.
Gildan t-shirt with the company logo.
Yeah. A little Gildan, lightweight or medium perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
With a thin collar.
Want to shrink this fucking thing? Wash it at all.
Want to shrink it? Look at it once. This retreat went bad. Oh yeah, Wall Street Journal said it's a guy.
Hey guys.
Wall Street Journal says Wall Street Journal be like, technology company Plex took its 120 employees to Honduras for a week-long bonding experience. It was a disaster from the moment they arrived.
Who's running the website? A week long?
Yeah. What the heck?
It's almost like it's an unnecessary
I assume
it was probably a workcation, as they call it.
Yes, it was but the thing is, it is a lot to ask a week from your employees.
Is wild. Like I imagine some of them have kids.
Right. I've only seen some of the cliff notes of what went wrong, but I guess we could guess what goes wrong.
Well, right now from this image, I'm guessing the beaches of Normandy kind of situation.
Yeah, when they decide to leave.
Yeah, it's a regular Dunkirk situation. I think, I do think some of these things were not within their control, but one thing that is within their control is that the premise of this experience was they were doing like a Survivor.
I was gonna say it looks like a Tough Mudder or something
for the company. I'm a little bit
God.
like, why did they film this professionally?
What the fuck?
Because they thought it'd be cool.
Yeah. And while we were looking at that, I'm going to say senior executives at the tech company Plex were eager to treat their 120 fully remote staffers to a week-long corporate getaway in a tropical paradise. I guess because they work remotely.
It's like they gotta bond. Team building kind of
By making them crawl through sand and get slapped in the face or whatever.
The plan for the Honduras trip was simple. Company meetings and team building by powdery soft beaches during the day and island fun at night at the cost of roughly $500,000 to the company. They'd build the trip around a Survivor, like the show, theme, with teams and challenges, but it'd be fun, not too physically grueling. And the CEO of Plex, a free streaming platform, would, well, why is it free? Would play a role similar to that of Survivor host Jeff Probst.
But without too much work, cut to footage of Navy SEAL training on the beach.
people having to crawl on the
Weeping
beach.
openly, screaming, drowning. And then doing the salute from Force Awakens.
Even asking them to do sit-ups.
Yeah, I don't. It's like, am I looking at their actual offsite? Because that seems crazy. And why does only one guy have a buff?
He's actually on the show.
He's actually on Survivor.
This source is Moniker Partners, and I just looked that up. Moniker Partners is an award-winning corporate retreat planning agency.
Oh, so this is
is at least from one of their corporate retreats.
Right. Wow.
Okay. Are there other images on this?
I gotta say, just kudos to the guy who William, one of the boys. No. Kudos to the person that edited together that little montage for continually including the shot where the guy has so much sand on his face he looks racist.
Okay. Perhaps the executive should have taken it as a sign that just as the first bus of staffers pulled up to the resort, the chief executive was already in his hotel bathroom experiencing the initial waves of a violent stomach infection. So what I believe happened is he wanted like vegetables and got a salad and immediately got like E. coli.
Oh.
Yeah, you shouldn't eat salad.
Don't get the ice.
And
you shouldn't eat salad.
so
Salad.
Yeah.
It's nerdy.
So
I'm following. Yeah.
when I went to the Peace Corps,
Yeah.
one of the things they told us is
we made it up. It's all war.
eat cooked vegetables. Don't eat fresh vegetables because they often have manure on them from the soil that they were grown in.
Yeah.
And while some countries have
Manure's poop.
cleaning before sale methods, other countries don't.
Right. What followed was a comedy of errors, including military drills that outpaced anything this group of office workers had in mind, a rogue porcupine, stranded airplanes, and one syringe to the butt of an employee.
Is this Firefest?
This happened in 2017, by the way, but I guess it's just being reported now.
When was Firefest? 2019? 2018?
They're like one piece of cheese, one piece of bread.
I didn't
one
even know about
Blink-182
PLEX
concert.
in 2017, did I?
Yeah, wait. So can you look at the replies to that? Because they're like, with a timely report, but I'm like, why is this being reported now?
I mean, yeah, is it? Well, I mean, it might, I guess just maybe no one talked
I'm like,
about it.
because I'm
Did someone quit and then talk about it?
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it was a 7-year long.
Yeah, the lawsuit's finally over. Corporate retreats are generally assumed to be torture, or at least a semi-stressful chore, forced fun activities, hybrid workplace environments.
Yeah.
It's no wonder the new season of Jury Duty, a comedy series, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But in real life, PlexCon 2017 beats anything on TV.
PlexCon, huh?
Sad Boys had a bit of a retreat when we all went to the UK together.
BoysCon 2025.
BoysCon, boys only.
No girls allowed.
No girls allowed, except for, well, actually, whatever. You're allowed.
Fine. But we'll pout about it.
We just worked during the day and then went out and saw the city at night.
We got crazy.
I think we
You killed that guy.
If by killed that guy, you mean saw Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. You watched him get shot and you didn't do anything.
This is actually true.
They have the guy who's the founder of Moniker Partners. I guess the founder goes on these as well.
Well, maybe he runs it.
Oh, runs the
It's like when your
retreat.
dealer,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
when your
Maybe
dealer
it's a
hangs
small
out.
company that he's like actually there.
The plug's cool, but he's been hanging out for a couple hours.
Well, maybe he gets off on yelling at people to do crazy shit.
True.
It would be a hard sell for me to imagine this is a plan to go forward with. But other than that, I do think the things that happened were like not their fault.
Yeah.
So the founder of Moniker Partners says, about 3 weeks before we arrived in Honduras, we got an email from the hotel's general manager that said, I will be departing. I wish you the best with your retreat.
Wait, the hotel manager?
I knew something.
I have E. coli.
I knew something was off. 3 days later, another email. The head chef was no longer going to be at the hotel. So it like became Survivor.
The fuck? Wait, was this part of the secret plan, or just something?
No,
was
this
going
is just
horribly
like
wrong?
the guy who runs the company that does these retreats said 3 weeks before they knew some shit was off because the hotel manager quit and then the chef also quit.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
What the hell?
So-
happened? We
I feel
are
like you
riddled
might-
with E. coli.
I feel like you might cancel.
Nah, we already almost got the flights. We already got all the sand to put on your face.
Scott Olachowski, 52, chief product officer and Plex co-founder. We get there, we've got to take a bus from the airport. Dirt roads. Okay, that's fine.
Cool.
That's
You
to
start.
be expected.
Whoa. You start getting closer, and there are guard towers around the property. People with machine guns and stuff. A lot of people were like, where are we going? Great question. What is going on?
For what was it? A party at night? Fun during the day? Fun beaches?
Maybe it's closer to Normandy than we thought.
Actually, yeah, we thought this was 2017. It was actually a little while before that.
Keith, the Plex CEO, we usually go a day early and we set up. If there's any little thing, we have to get it just right so the employees have the best experience possible. Scott, Keith woke up the day that people are coming in, Sunday morning, and he's sick as a dog.
Boo-hoo, mate.
Oh,
Get back to
Anastasia,
work.
this is to you. Keith says, and it is a little bit boo-hoo. This is a little CEO brain.
Oh, my belly.
Everything there is fried. Basically, people are telling me, don't eat the vegetables, don't eat the vegetables. I was like, I've got to have a salad, just one little salad. That's where they get you.
Preach.
I gotta treat myself. I've got to have a little bit of river water.
When you're too healthy, it goes all the way around.
Yeah.
So I got E. coli, which is maybe the worst thing you could get possibly ever. Just as the bus were coming in.
Probably a bomb would probably be.
They had a
that's the
doctor
one.
come to me. The next day is the Survivor themed kickoff. There's not a person on the planet more excited about Survivor than Keith and his wife. They've watched every single episode.
Keith is the dying CEO.
Dying CEO. My wife and I met Jeff Probst. Okay.
Okay.
Like, why is this a part of it? Oh, he really wanted to do the Welcome to the Island, but here's the theme of the week, but Scott got to do it.
Oh, so he's just bringing these people along to do LARPing.
Yeah.
He's doing his little fantasy.
Oh, wait, they had Jacob's been locked in jail by the internet, and this isn't loading, but the image, they have Survivor buffs that say Survivor PLEXCon Honduras.
Pretty cool.
And then
That's kind of fun to get that as a.
that's cool. The other thing that's very funny to me is, and this is going to sound like a 2017 tech company thing, and you would never guess, but I'm going to have you try and guess the other thing that's on the thing. So in Survivor, it says out, wit out, play out, last, out, play out, wit out, last. I can't remember what the order is, but anyway, out blank.
Ooh.
So if you were a quirky XD awesome tech company,
I know what it is.
out blank.
Yeah. Is it also OOO?
It's not OO.
I thought it was going to be out of office.
Oh, that's so smart.
That would have been great.
That is so smart.
This guy seemed like a genius. Did you not think of that?
Is it like out code or something?
Out computer tech something? Out code.
Out make the world a better place. I'm just thinking of what things.
If you
Like,
think about that,
things
yeah,
and-
no, it's out awesome.
Oh.
oh God!
I know. I knew it would hurt you physically. I knew it would hurt you
Out
physically.
owie some.
Out awesome.
Oh my God.
And she's eating a bug because instead of she's eating like a scorpion.
There's so much data in this
Yeah,
image.
and because there's like a guy pogging on one side, everyone's looking in different directions. How is this even possible?
I know it's like a Renaissance painting.
It has everything.
Fibonacci sequence of these.
Yeah, the golden ratio.
Oh, that looks kind of cool, actually. Can we print that?
The opening Survivor thing was a contest where people on different teams open up a platter and you have to eat what's on the platter. So that's an old school Survivor thing.
Yeah.
It's more of a fear factor kind of vibe.
well,
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
around the same time.
Yeah, it's like it is a thing that happened on Survivor a lot in the early days, pre-Fear Factor. Just because Fear Factor came out in the later part of the 2000s,
And I think Fear Factor might have even been born out of.
taking those types
Survivor.
of
You
challenges.
think Joe Rogan would copy someone like that?
But this was like in Survivor season 1, this happens, for example. And but it's a company retreat. Like I remind you, it's supposed to be fun, chill Survivor theme, not like we're doing Survivor.
I'd better win $1 million at the end if I'm doing all this stuff.
If I were designing a company retreat around Survivor, I would kind of stick more to the puzzle stuff.
Yeah, the games and the
I would stick more
Ninja
about
Warrior
I would
element.
stick more.
finding a idol.
If I'm having like a Survivor birthday party, I'm sticking to the iconography.
yeah. Well, and we do it here.
So this guy's like, it's probably gonna be something bad. When I opened up the cover, it was a dead tarantula.
So I'm not doing that.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Are you warning us?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can fire me, I sue you for so much money.
Yeah.
Jacob's just warning us for the next Sad Boys retreat.
What is the waivers that they had to sign? I probably wouldn't sign those waivers out of fear of what I was signing away.
Maybe it's like bundled in with their initial contract, and it just does like. And by the way, you have to eat a bug.
I'm a Texan, so I've been around tarantulas my whole life. I never knew what it was. Never eaten one. My team was just like, if you don't want to do this, you're totally fine. We can take the loss. And I'm like, yeah, but now I don't want to introduce.
You feel like you're letting your team down.
He's like, I just grabbed it and did it. Pretty horrible. Not gonna lie. Those hairs.
But I mean, like the whole
So like that. I don't know.
a team building retreat to make teams feel isolated and like they're letting each other down and stuff.
They should have just had like improv.
Pretty
groups.
crap looking.
They should have done puzzles and improv, and they should have done like whoosh or whatever.
Yeah, like kind
Zip
of
zap.
like
Zip zap.
escape
No.
room vibes. You know, I don't know.
I'd tell you what, they should have gone and sit a movie and then gone home.
This is so crazy.
Pirates and movies.
So yeah, this is told through just people. It's just quotes of things that happen to people. There's a quote that says, "This is not a super fit group in general," which is very funny. They're also all white.
Phew.
Not that matters because I don't see color.
But I hate race.
I only see the lack of it. Just kidding.
Just kidding. Keep it up.
Kidding.
Hey,
One of our
you.
biggest mistakes was hiring. This is the CEO. Was hiring a former Navy SEAL to pump up the team.
Oh God.
As I'm in my room dying, I can hear them out there doing their drills and yelling. So I'm out there thinking, this is terrible, but it sounds terrible out there too.
Bro, if the podcast industry over the last 10 years has told us anything, it's that ex-Navy SEALs are the most asinine, annoying motherfuckers on earth. They're going to start talking to me about like Angel Studios movies and Black Rifle coffee. I do not want you patronizing me while I eat like cow testicle or something on a beach. If you are not in the Navy SEALs, I don't want to fucking hear about it. And if
Also-
you are in the Navy SEALs, I don't want to fucking hear about it. Was it Beast Games where they had the SEALs hunt them in the
Yes.
jungle
That was
for
just
a
a
bit?
Mr. Beast video.
Oh, it was just a Beast
No,
Games.
they did that on Beast Games.
Oh, yeah, when they did the pirate ship puzzle also. They had with
because he has a
Yachty
video
and-
called like I hired
That makes
people to
sense.
hunt us on a private
To
island
kill
or
us.
whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. They have it briefly on Beast Games and then they just immediately lose, so they go back to a different puzzle. They go back to like the lying one or whatever.
I did just look up on Wikipedia what was going on in Honduras at this time. And in 2017, they had an election that was very close and hotly disputed. And there was like some, not big, but a slight civil unrest.
Do you think that's maybe why some of them were leaving though?
I don't know. It could have just been that this hotel was like poorly managed.
This
or-
annoying cracker turned up
funded.
and started having diarrhea in our master room. So I decided to leave. Oh my lord.
We're doing army crawling on the beach. It was 100 degrees. I bailed. These are different accounts from people. I bailed out partway through. I went into the ocean just to cool off.
yeah.
I went in probably on all fours because I was so tired. This is not a fit group in general. The ex-Navy SEAL is like, we can tone it down, no problem. We get up there and it's hot and humid and people are passing out.
Oh my God.
Dude.
I don't think he'd ever
Cancel
seen
it.
quite such an unfit group. We ended on, I guess, what's probably a golf course.
I mean, there's just normal people. Dude, it's just it would be
They're just not doing this all the time.
the weirdest thing. This Navy SEAL
They're
typically doesn't
so
work with.
unfit. They're office workers.
Also,
he's
people on Survivor pass out in
Yeah.
similar conditions.
He's just that's the thing. It is a very fan thing to do. Is make it's like people that didn't like The Last Jedi and were like, we'll just make it. Give us $1 million, we'll make it. It's like, I like Survivor. I'll do it. With 120 people. Oh, they died?
On command, everyone hit the had to hit the grass. Like, I guess drop down.
yeah.
And I don't know.
Hold down B till you go prone.
We're pretending we're Navy SEAls, but I happened to land in the wrong spot. I'm just like, oh God, what's happening? And I was sitting on a fire anthill. I was wearing shorts.
Cartoon character. Slipped on a banana peel.
It's like, because in Survivor, they do a lot of pre-work to make sure all of these things are like, okay.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, this looks good. And it's actually in Scorpion Canyon.
Oops.
Yeah.
It's in Scorpion Canyon. We should have known.
Yeah. The medical area didn't have any regular antihistamine. So they're like, oh, we can shoot some in your butt cheek. Okay. Well, that is more
Well, that's
normal than I
nice.
thought. Yeah.
It's just medical.
Someone saw an alligator on the golf course. To surprise us, they made 100.
They had a zoo.
To surprise us, they made 100 cupcakes with the wrong company logo.
Fun.
That's the surprise. It is a surprise.
Yeah.
Also, there's more than 100 people.
I told my staff, buffet wise, make sure that you go out and you cut the chicken in half and you cut the beef in half because it was coming out uncooked.
Oh my god! Make sure to try the salad.
The kitchen was trying to rush out food because they had never served 100+ people in one go.
And their chef is gone. Their head chef is gone.
The CEO's cooking.
So I imagine the head chef would have known how to do these things.
Try the lukewarm salad bar. Give it a swim. No dressing.
I remember the steamed vegetables that came out one day. It was literally just boiled vegetables they flopped into a catering thing. All right, relax.
Top down.
You're eating tarantulas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. More bugs then. You're gonna be rude.
People's showers, water, and electricity kept going off during the day. We were running.
Go home. I'm going home.
There was a heat wave that week.
I don't know, man. I know it's the power dynamic of an office environment and stuff like that. I just look, when I worked in tech, I was reliant on that company for even being allowed to stay in the country, and I would leave this event. There would be zero fucking hesitation.
They should have medevaced everyone home.
Like if they hurt their Achilles or something.
Also, I kind of feel like, if you've never traveled much and then you go to Honduras
Or been drowned.
for the first, that's like your first.
And you're going to like secluded beach resort
Yes.
area. Yeah.
No phone signal.
Yeah.
I actually, to be honest, if I hadn't ever left the country before and I'd done this vacation, I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm going to Seattle or something. I'm never going abroad again.
It's like, yeah, they probably should have prepared them a little bit better.
My concern, I guess, actually overall, this would, if you and me were on this retreat, do you think it would be an issue that because the
We're
Navy,
too good at it?
the Navy SEAL would be like, I can't teach them anything.
Right. He'd be like, crawl, and then we'd do the best crawl he's ever seen.
Holy
and
shit,
he's like,
they're so
fuck.
low.
His nose would start bleeding.
Nutty.
Yeah. And he'd be like, drop to the ground like this, and I'd be like, fire ants. And he'd be like, oh!
You passed my test.
And then the fire ants, for some reason, start attacking him
Yeah, we
as
got
if
it.
you
Yeah.
commanded
I realize I'm like a ant bender.
Yeah, you roll your eyes back in your head.
You're kind of Ant-Man.
I'm, but not in the way you think.
I'm wearing Christian Bale's suit from Equilibrium, and I'm doing gun Carter on the beach. And I'm Master Chief, and I'm John Wick.
I was trying to put out fires all day. I wasn't hydrating. And that's a term in
Put out
business.
fire ants.
Yeah, when people are solving problems all day. I was trying to put out fires all day. I wasn't hydrating. And so each afternoon I would start having these heart palpitations. They had to call an ambulance and hook me up to an ECG machine. They were like, sir, you need to slow down. You're stressing your body to the maximum.
Is the CEO again?
No, the CEO is Keith, and this is Sean, S-E-A-N, not to be confused with Sean, S-H-A-W-N. We had golf carts because the place was so spread out. The trees and the vegetation were beautiful, but they were blocked by the solar panels on our path. So the lights only worked for about 30 minutes at night.
Oh my God.
Has no one ever
The rest of the time, it was completely dark.
That's not like because the hotel manager isn't anymore. That's the sun. The sun happens
The
every
sun was
day.
against
You'll
them.
never believe this. This is Rick's story. Rick is a senior software engineer. He's 53. One night while I was sleeping, I heard a crash in the room. I thought something must have fallen over. I'll deal with it in the morning. The next day I got up and went over to get in the shower, and there was a porcupine. It must have climbed a tree and fallen through the ceiling.
It looks kind of soggy. Is he having a shower?
That's the fuzziness of the humidity and the window.
The sweat.
Or maybe it's behind a mosquito net.
I think it's behind a glass shower.
It's a shower
door.
glass
Oh.
thing. Yeah.
You can see Sean.
That's Rick. It's Rick, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I can
you
tell-
can see Sean.
I can tell by the
I
legs.
see Sean, people.
I see Sean. Oh my god, look at he's cute. He kind of looks like Ollie. Kind of looks like Peeps.
And then Scott chimes in. I think it might have been a Mexican hairy dwarf porcupine. They are native to Honduras.
All right. Okay,
Fucking, that's
buddy.
like what Anastasia would say. in this
Yeah,
moment.
That's what I would
pal.
say.
Yeah, and it'd be
I
like,
actually-
relax. I'm talking about the one that fell through my ceiling.
Wait, which one said that? Sean?
Rick.
Okay, I'm all
Oh wait, no.
about
So
Rick.
sorry, that was Sean. No, sorry, Scott. Jesus Christ.
So the train is leaving Boston at 3:21
Why are
p.m.
these all like 80s names? Rick, Sean,
They're all
Scott?
53.
all
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with these guys?
The hotel pretty much got the porcupine and left. I guess for me it was a good thing because I'm not a talkative software engineer. It's a beautiful resort. There are sand fleas. They had to fumigate every day.
What was it? A comma? They just beautiful resort.
It's a beautiful resort. There were sand fleas.
Oh, okay. One of my favorite things was the sand
this is the
fleas.
punctuation.
That's awesome. 3 unrelated comments.
We had a nice dinner down by the beach, and everyone got bit by the sand fleas that weren't supposed to be there.
What's supposed
We
to?
all got matching tank tops. We took a bunch of
I got cholera.
What is this? We took a bunch of planes to an island called Utila.
A bunch of planes.
Why are they? It's just like I
Why
don't
are
know.
they going to a second location?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with this
Why
freak.
is this so elaborate? The people there are huge fans of American baseball. A hurricane destroyed their baseball field, and we donated money to restore the
that's
field.
sweet.
Keith threw out the first pitch. That is sweet.
Is
So
Keith
they're-
the
are-
CEO?
Were they doing? They weren't building it. It had already been built, and they're just
Yeah.
throwing out-
Keith, is that Keith by any chance in the center there? With the
I don't know
LinkedIn
because
self photo?
he's supposed to be like 50. Oh, maybe
CEO
it is Keith. Yeah.
So interesting because there's actually a Utila spiny-tailed iguana that's specific to that island.
Well, that's not a porcupine. So keep it
laptop-
to yourself.
Your laptop is turned off. Why do you know that?
You're
laptop
pretending to
up
look
here.
it up.
Oh, that's interesting. What did you say?
You're
it was?
staring at a piece of stone,
Put your tablet.
a
Get it?
stone tablet.
No, she's coming with more commandments again.
Okay, so they were having a nice day. They're in the water hanging out, having beers, and they're like, okay, we need to start heading back. The island has a very small airport. We were running this airlift, like small propeller planes with 8 seats, trying to get more than 100 people back to the mainland before twilight hits. because then they won't have lighting on the runway. Like this guy, Sean, who is not an air traffic controller, is standing on the runway going, okay, let's go. Next plane, next plane. One of my colleagues, who is now one of my best friends, she and I were like, we'll be the last ones.
There's so much flavor in these. You know what I mean? My favorite color is red. Anyhow, I got bitten on the face by a bug.
They have endemic wildebeest.
One bit my nose off.
Yeah.
And also, the salad was not that good. It made me poo.
One of my colleagues, who's now one of my best friends, she and I were like, we'll be the last ones on the planes. We don't mind. We didn't make it. 2 of the planes didn't take off.
This is their bonding experience, I guess. Maybe now they're...
We get news. Actually, we're not going to be able to fly you back to the mainland tonight. At this point, my antihistamines have started to wear off, and I'm itching uncontrollably again. They're looking for a doctor on the island to hook me up with another shot. I'm writhing. This woman in a hot pink shirt says, I have the antihistamine. She puts a line into a vein on the top of my hand so she could administer it. And I'm like, I hope she's a doctor.
What the fuck? And?
Guys, there's nothing we can do. We found some beach hotel and drank beers all night.
Oh.
Okay.
This probably sounds a little better, honestly.
That sounds not bad. That's the end.
Some name right about Keith.
I mean, I feel like this is was maybe too ambitious and fell apart.
It's a thing you should do with your friends that are all into the same shit as you.
You should never make your coworker, your
100 employees.
Imagine if Jeff Probst would catch some bodies if he did that.
Yeah.
100 people on Survivor, there'd be a couple casualties for sure.
100 is crazy. They do not have enough staff. Survivor has a staff of like a bajillion people off camera, making sure that in medical staff and safety swimmers and like people who are making sure that nothing goes wrong.
Always British guys.
And they have 20 contestants usually.
This is so like when you wear when you have a tucked in button shirt, a t-shirt under it, and you wear a windbreaker and you're a white guy, you're allowed to get away with this kind of stuff in a way that's like Butterfingers. Whatever could have happened if like this is just dorky nerd LARPing, and if I set up like a D&D game and then all of my players got cholera, it would be in trouble, let alone if I was running a company. But this guy gets to like do a little smile and be like, the will of the markets, huh?
I think Survivor cosplay or like tough outdoorsy cosplay is kind of part of tech culture.
It is. Because like Burning Man, our office was empty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I have the endurance to handle real world things when they are perfectly catered and lined up in a nice linear sense.
When I got my camping lot.
Sam Altman had a iconic New Year's party at his...
Were you there?
No, I read about it in this article.
Oh, tell us about the article.
Okay.
Transition.
Wait a minute. It's your diary.
I read about it in this article, computer's off.
It's stone.
He actually had a rare hairless naked mole rat.
So for those of you who don't know, there's a New Yorker article written by Ronan Farrow. Famed journalist. Investigative journalist. One of the key people who broke the Me Too stuff.
Mm-hmm. And like Weinstein stuff.
Yeah.
Like with Me Too, obviously.
Yeah,
together.
Exactly. And it profiles Sam Altman.
Well,
CEO.
He's a Nepo baby, so.
He is a Nepo baby, that's true.
He's the alleged Nepo baby of Mia Farrow and maybe Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, so he, when he was born, was told that his father was Woody Allen. And he looks exactly like Frank Sinatra.
If I'm in this position, I'm like, make it Frank.
But if you look at
Frank Sinatra, Mia Farrow like thing. That
so she dated Frank Sinatra right before dating Woody Allen, and she actually has said she would cheat on Woody Allen with Frank Sinatra.
That's what I.
Let's just say it's Frank Sinatra. If I have a kid and I've got to give them one of the, it's
also he just looks straight up like Frank Sinatra.
If you look at Ronan Farrow, you're like, Woody Allen is not your dad.
It's like, okay, every other weekend you're gonna go and spend time with your dad and his daughter wife.
Oh my God.
Gross.
Well, and yeah, he is completely cut ties with Woody Allen.
And Sam Altman is the CEO and founder of OpenAI.
Yeah.
And controversial because a lot of people don't remember this, had been ousted attempted to be ousted from OpenAI at one point due to being unfit to lead, but we don't really know.
So that's what a lot of this article is about. Ronan Farrow got access to a lot of documents, including people's personal journals. Dario Amodei is now the CEO of Anthropic, a rival AI company, but was one of the early OpenAI employees, and is actually known
and
for...
OpenAI started as a nonprofit.
Yeah, so actually, starting in the beginning of this, Sam Altman had a company called Looped, I believe.
LUTA?
Is it the LOOPT? That's like the company he exited for like 40 million or something. It was like his first like exit.
Even going back as far as Looped, he was very young, and people kind of thought of him as like a very smart guy. He was in Y Combinator.
It is a startup accelerator in Silicon Valley.
Yes, and is a nonprofit.
I think them
from this
themselves is a nonprofit, but there's like
the benefits of
the way Y Combinator tends to work is it is a nonprofit itself, and it helps people start startups, but Y Combinator gets
percentage ownership.
Like
they get stake in the company.
So profits happen.
Oops. What a pain.
Oops, all profits. So Sam Altman goes to Y Combinator, starts Looped. Looped is pretty quickly failing.
Yeah, of course.
But because Sam Altman is such a likable guy, he has made so many friends and people who believe in them. He actually ends up selling Looped to another company for quite a profit.
Yeah. And this is a thing that happened a lot. Y Combinator was more interested in founders than ideas. So like Reddit is a Y Combinator company. And like their initial company that they pitched for Reddit was not Reddit. And then but they liked the founders. And so they still were admitted into the program and stuff. And it's so Silicon Valley brained because like Paul Graham is the guy that founded Y Combinator, and he's insane. Like he is a person whose tweets I just got mad at for years. Like just after getting out of tech, and even when I was still in tech, like he became an eye-rolly tweeter where you'd see it and you'd be like, okay.
Yeah, dude. There is be thankful, any of you, that your first exposure to that type of annoying like LinkedIn profile picture style Avi and paragraph break statements in a tweet from a like pragmatic, patronizing position that's just like, you should actually never have a green smoothie in the morning. That will make you like, be thankful that you're just getting exposed to that now through these freaks.
Just confidently. Like,
versus 2015.
I do think that he has chilled out, but I might have muted him a long time ago. I don't follow him anymore.
So it's interesting that you bring up Paul Graham, because after Sam Altman sold Looped, he wasn't doing anything.
I keep hearing lubed, and I pray that's not what it is.
It's LOOPT.
Not BED.
I mean, you can make it that if you want.
I'm founding it. We make business frictionless.
So Paul Graham was like so endeared by Sam Altman and his personality that he just said, hey, I actually want to step down from Y Combinator. I'm essentially retiring from this position, not from work in general. I want you to take over. And
I've been looking for a haunted doll to take over my business day to day.
Just handed him this like position and didn't realize that he was kind of handing Sam Altman a lot of power. Because Sam Altman then started handpicking these people and companies that essentially he could just invest in. Sam Altman's not putting any of his own money in it.
Right.
He's using Y Combinator to invest in them, but then Sam Altman is getting personal stake in the company.
Elon actually doesn't even have any money.
How does that even work? Is he like gifting himself the...
This is a good question.
This is like a how did Jeffrey Epstein get rich type question.
I think it's at a certain scale, it's just social equity. Like you are just such an impossibly valuable asset that you just get a house on spec.
Yeah, but I'm like, just like, because Y Combinator, it's just like from a legal standpoint, like how do you do this.
Yeah, old IC.
Altman oversaw a period of aggressive expansion, growing YC's roster of startups from dozens to hundreds. But several Silicon Valley investors came to believe that his loyalties were divided. An investor told us that Altman was known to make personal investments selectively into the best companies, blocking outside investors into these Y Combinator.
Did he know, or he's just big slip up?
Oh.
Oops.
Altman denies blocking anyone.
Oh, okay.
Altman had worked as a scout for the investment fund Sequoia as part of a program that involved investing in early stage startups and taking a small cut of any profits. When Altman made an angel investment in Stripe, a financial service startup, he insisted on a bigger portion.
Galling
Sequoia's partners.
Let's get Grammarly going at the New York Times, or the New Yorker, sorry, of course.
A person familiar
magazine.
with the deal said, the person added, it's a policy of Sam first. So even at Y Combinator, it was very clear he was using his position to his own gain, right?
Sam first.
That's so funny. Around 2010, he made an initial investment of $15,000 in Stripe at 2% share. A 2% share
Holy fucking
in a
shit.
company. That is saying that 15 times 50 is $750,000. Now Stripe is worth $150 billion. Also, in 2012, I emailed the founder of Stripe, Patrick Collison, and asked him for an internship, and he responded to me.
For a 2% stake in the company.
What did he say?
He said that he has no doubt that I'll be successsul, but I'm too green or something like that. It was actually quite nice, but
You're a little too brown for us.
yes. So
Dune men
do
tattoo.
you want to know how much money Sam made?
Yeah, how much?
3 with 9 zeros. $3 billion.
And that's just
that's
one
lucky.
company of many
Shit,
that he
I'd
was
give
doing
Stripe
this.
$15,000 if I could get it at fucking 2% share.
Yeah, fuck it.
Shit.
You know what? I would actually be willing to make that much money.
People start noticing this. He's getting complaints.
Hey, do you have billions of dollars? I think I just noticed this. Some people at the office have been noticing you've been wearing gold suits.
And just that he's like power hungry. Like he's kind of wielding his power handily, you know? And so
give me
Graham
that.
is no longer in control. And he says in this article, Ronan Farrow interviewed him for this article. I had no authority to fire anyone, but I told Sam, you need to step down. Like, this is not okay.
I think
You can't do this.
prevention's the only cure on this
So then
one.
what happens is
You got tricked.
Sam does step down as the president or whatever they called him before.
King.
But now he's a majority board member. So he's still,
And a mere billionaire.
he claims he has nothing to do with Y Combinator anymore, but everyone's like, no, like if you look at like public tax information, he still is listed as a chairman or something like that.
Nah, I wasn't even there. I was doing something else.
So it's like saying, yeah, I'll step down as president, but then putting some puppet in place.
But then just like hanging out at the White House.
Yeah.
I will say that Paul Graham tweeted about, since there's yet another article claiming that we quote unquote removed Sam because partners distrusted him. No, we didn't. It's not because I want to defend Sam that I keep insisting on this. It's because it's so annoying to read false accounts of my own actions.
That's new.
But he is retweeting something from 2024 where he's saying people have been claiming YC fired Sam. That's not true. Here's what actually happened. For several years, he was running both YC and OpenAI. But when OpenAI announced that it was going to have a for-profit subsidiary and that Sam was going to be the CEO, we, specifically Jessica, told him that if he was going to work full-time on OpenAI, we should find someone else to run YC. And he agreed. If he said he was going to find someone else to be CEO of OpenAI so that he could focus 100% on YC, we would have been fine with that too. We didn't want him to leave just to choose one or the other. But still,
I think the article doesn't say they fired him.
Yeah.
it says they asked him to step down.
Yeah.
Through interviews with a bunch of other people. They interviewed so many people for this article.
I also trust Ronan Farrow's reporting more than most journalists.
He's like, there seems to be reasons that were not made public.
Yeah.
And from these other employees and startups, this is what we gathered.
Yeah.
It's so funny just to think of like, I know it's because we're seeing it through the lens of how eerie and unlikable, annoying Sam Altman is now, but it's just funny to think of a world where he's just so incredibly charming.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but I
because
do
he is low key,
actually
he's absent.
think in the tech world,
Definitely.
he is a charming manipulator.
I think if we worked with him or like the personality types like that, you get like the secret buff where because you're so low key but successful, everyone's like, oh my God, I love Steven. His vibe is like so fun, you know, he's so chill.
Colleagues of Sam's at Y Combinator were also interviewed for this article, and several of them said that Paul Graham told them, Sam had been lying to us all the time. That they actually caught him in a bunch of really big lies about how he was running Y Combinator. Do with that what you will.
Me, I'd do something with that.
Well, you could. So,
I'll figure it out.
meanwhile, he's running Y Combinator. He's also best buds with Elon Musk because
What happened to that guy?
they both were tweeting a lot about how scary AI is.
Right.
So back in the day, both Sam and Elon are like, AI is so scary. I can't believe Google, because Google was the kind of first company that's like, we're going to really run with this and make a for-profit situation out of it. And both
Crazy how far behind they fell.
Yeah.
Because like they're like kind of trailing in that.
Elon and Sam Altman are like, we got to do something to stop this. So they start a nonprofit called OpenAI. And they actually started kind of under Y Combinator. And they start doing something not unusual for Silicon Valley, I think.
They later beef, but I don't know.
They later beef, and Elon has a very
Can't hate the
dramatic exit from OpenAI.
God, it's so funny that he was being the 100th richest person in the world. I think is worse than being like the 105th. Because like to be right at the bottom of the leaderboard, as opposed to just like, I'm rich, but I'm not in the like.
But now he's number one, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, we win.
Yeah, in 2015, he was just the 100th richest person.
He only had 90 children.
So they start OpenAI, and they go around telling all these very smart AI experts in the field, hey, come work for us because we're the good guys. We want to stop
That's how you know
big
they're good.
companies like Google from creating this thing that can't be stopped. And, you know, we want to work on AI and specifically work on the safety net part of it.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't get out of control.
That's how I originally heard about OpenAI.
Yeah. And I think most people did. They were like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
OpenAI.
Also, be very wary of people who call themselves the good guys. I interviewed when I was a know-nothing 19-year-old. I interviewed with Palantir, and they describe themselves as the good guys.
my
Yeah,
God,
we're keeping
of
us all
course.
safe. They're wearing stormtrooper uniforms. Like, oh, okay, cool, man. What's this salute you guys keep doing?
Yeah.
Looks pretty
Well,
cool.
So the whole time that Elon and Sam Altman are being scared on like publicly, they're using a nuclear weapons analogy.
Okay.
So then they start telling people, we're starting our own Manhattan Project for AI.
Right.
That was their proposal, where we need to gather the smartest minds in the world.
Famously the good guys.
Right? I'm like, why use that analogy? Because everyone in the Manhattan Project later regretted it,
But
right?
they also imagine the U.S. as the good guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and the U.S. did this because that's what the good guys
I guess
do.
if you isolate what it led to, if you just went like, it was nice, we all got to do science at science camp together as friends,
Right.
and then nothing happened.
Here's a quote from the article. picking up on the analogy to nuclear weapons, he proposed a Manhattan Project for AI. He outlined the overarching principles that such an organization would have. Quote, safety should be a first-class requirement. Obviously, we comply with / aggressively support all regulation. And he and Musk settled on the name OpenAI together.
We're the good guys, and we'll do all that stuff that you asked for.
It's very funny to be like, we want someone other than Google to do this first, because like, I don't know.
So then I'm going to just fast track this. Essentially,
Accelerationist.
the board that they compile, they're all equals. There's no one that's really like, quote unquote, in charge.
It's a family.
But
a lot of these AI companies do that.
But then Elon and Sam start thinking we should really have a CEO. And the board is like, no, we shouldn't, because one of our number one concerns is that whoever owns the AI that goes AGI is going to become an AI dictator. And
It's funny. I realized
AGI stands for Artificial Generalized Intelligence, by the way.
It's just the funniest idea. I know that we created this rebel force to take down the Empire and free the galaxy, but now we should have a Sith Emperor.
yeah.
I just thought we should have a king.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually really good.
I have a lightsaber right now, and it is red. So maybe I'll just sit in the chair. Feel ooh, comfy.
It actually fits my butt perfectly.
Ooh, third Death Star question mark?
So Sam Altman and Elon Musk they both want to be CEO. They're fighting between the two of them. No, I want to be
so
CEO.
funny.
No, I want to be CEO.
He's like the CEO of 900 companies at that point.
And the board is like, no, neither of you are CEO. Like, what are you doing? There are a bunch of people who bring up, including Dario
Amade.
and
Argento.
Ilya
Taporia.
Oh, Ilya
Sakever or something.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's the one who was the person who allegedly turned on Sam and Ilya. Sutskever. Or actually, I don't know how you say it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But so all of the board is frustrated with what feels like a turn into the direction that they were avoiding from the get-go.
Right.
But both Elon and Sam are repeatedly saying, like, if someone's going to make money off of this, it should be us, to the board.
Because we're the good guys.
And the board is starting to be like, yeah, you're right. Okay, maybe we should have a CEO.
The
They're
risk
kind of
god.
changing minds.
Hey,
Have you guys considered making you know what's cooler than $1 billion? $1 trillion.
Oh, he makes an interesting point.
So then it's looking to kind of be in Sam Altman's favor. So Elon Musk throws a tantrum and leaves. And he's like, this is bullshit. I wanted to be CEO and you're all backing Sam Altman. So I'm out of here. They had a big...
Elon Musk said that.
I know. Can you believe that?
Didn't he
It is funny
provide
because
productive feedback?
this is a weird situation where I'm not sure which is worse, but I do think that like Elon's already rich enough that like I'm like less worried about his desire to earn more money.
Yes, yeah.
But
I know that he just wants his name on a placard.
Right.
yeah, not
I mean,
that,
literally.
again, it probably would not be different. Also, they're like mega doomer mode. Like,
Yeah.
Altman predicted that an artificial superintelligence, a theoretical threshold beyond even AGI, at which machines would fully eclipse the capabilities of the human mind, would eventually create enough economic benefits to quote unquote capture the light cone of all future value in the universe.
Yeah.
Which is like,
God, they're so
that is the
black-pilled.
equivalent of like how a company that, like, if I'm a tech company that sells hot dogs, I can't just sell hot dogs. I need to be the hot dog supplier for the world.
Yes.
We will revolutionize hot dogs. Hot dogs for everyone.
You're just eating them.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy? No, I'm metabolizing them into base nutrients.
I'm blasting out biofuel.
And I'm creating, honestly, it's the miracle of childbirth, but with hot dogs.
If this guy gets E. coli.
So then,
Oh, and then they said that the government, it might cause national security implications so dire that the U.S. government would take control of OpenAI, perhaps nationalizing it, moving its operations to a secure bunker in the desert.
Okay. That's a fun bit of flavor.
why the desert?
Yeah, I know. That's
could be
where I'm like,
anywhere.
oh, you just like movies.
Because Manhattan Project. I don't know, because that's where they were testing the atomic bombs. That's where the aliens
They're
are.
hiding it. But roundabout by that.
So sorry,
If-
Anastasia.
If the aliens are in Area 51, and I'm the government, or I'm the area guys, moving them.
Remember when Trump said that aliens were real and we forgot yesterday? We forgot like immediately.
Every time someone in the government says aliens are real, you got to look around in other parts of what they're doing because they are just using it, I feel, as a way to like distract us.
Matt Gaetz had the most. I recommend people go and look it up. Not Matt Gaetz in general.
Yeah, I was like, where are you going with that?
But he had the most psychotic rant about like claims of like alien life. Right now, within the state government, he. I was going to say he fell off. He was never really on, to be honest with you. I think he started low for me. I think he's a bad bloke.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's a take.
interesting.
I disagree with the rest of you. I think Matt Gaetz is a bad person.
Okay. Interesting.
I think Elon Musk's a bad bloke.
Wow. Breaking news. Okay.
So Elon leaves. He's like, they have a big,
I'm going to go after you.
they have a big court thing.
Oh,
Trial.
Trial.
A big court thing.
Look, I'm tired. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So then they have a big trial.
Big court thing.
And Elon Musk is separated from the company and he's like, I'm going to start XAI. And meanwhile, everyone's like, okay, Sam, we're going to make this not a nonprofit. We're taking it. We're
Gonna make it some kind of
some sort of profit company.
So you remember how I said it was created under the Y Combinator's nonprofit?
Yeah.
So they're like, we're actually going to just kind of take it and move it into a private company, but we're still going to have the OpenAI nonprofit. It's now called the OpenAI Foundation.
It's so good. All this shit ever is moving and shaking and jargon where you just go like, okay, of course.
Yeah, it is-
no, I would never do that. We made a second.
It is funny because they spin out a division of the company that's for profit. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's for profit.
No, well, this section. There's actually only one guy that works there. Now we email with him every day. We do work
Google
with
is a nonprofit because they've got the Google Foundation
him. That's right.
But they're like,
where
okay,
they give $1 to me.
We have a jar that we put money in if anyone swears, and then we give it to the first person we see outside. So we don't pay taxes.
So we don't pay any taxes.
they're like, Sam, just to make sure we're for profit now. You're the CEO, but
As a reminder.
we're still aligned on the whole idea that human values are first, that we're not going to we're going to really safety net this so that nothing bad can happen.
I don't remember talking about that.
sorry, my name is Altman. I want the alternative to man.
Wait, that's his superpower?
Yeah, I am Altman.
He's got an alt.
No, not shift guy.
Oh, you shift.
And one thing that I thought was really funny is Dario Amodei kept very detailed notes on Sam Altman and someone else named Brockman, who's also on the board. But Brockman is just an Altman puppet, you know. So
Brockman.
Dario Amodei was like keeping detailed notes on their behavior for years in a file called My Experience with OpenAI parentheses private do not share.
That is awesome.
Oh, geez, I almost.
But yeah, he wrote that
200
Altman's goal was to
pages?
build an AI lab
This-
that would be focused on safety.
That's just a burn book. That's just gossip. 200 pages. That's just a rant.
AI lab that would be focused on safety, maybe not right away.
but as soon as it can be.
We'll get to it. For the life of me, can't remember what our plan was. Was it monopolize the government? It might have been. Is it replace art production? That's the funniest thing. It was monitoring the civil populace. That was it. I've completely forgotten. It's making a nuclear bomb.
There's all these cartoons that are
Well, yeah, no, this is it's talking about how Google was gonna send offers to poach people because this happens in these
Yes.
big AI arms races. So they offered Ilya $6 million a year, which is interesting.
yeah.
And I see the caption on this hilarious comic.
2 dogs on a bed.
If I'm just saying, if we tear up the pillows and rip up the mattress, it might make our place look more lived in.
That rules.
And they're dogs.
I'm looking at you, Ollie.
They're dogs.
Because they're that's like the business.
That's Dipper on my bed right now.
They're dogs, but they're also homeowners. Okay, Ilya starts realizing he's lying to the board. He'll tell one person one thing and then tell the board something else.
Bro is so desperately trying to get played by Jesse Eisenberg in a movie. Like, he's like, I'm interesting.
And he's lying to pull people in because he'll tell people like, hey, we want you to head up this safety division. And then they get there and they're like, where's the safety division?
Fucking
It's over there, but actually work on this other thing.
it's fine.
Safety division? Yes. It's actually called the weapons division.
Oh, I should have looked under the net. It's called secret, do not share.
So he's kind of lying to everybody, and Ilya feels like it's manipulative, starts talking to other board members and is like, what do we do about this? Like, we have evidence that he's lying to everyone. And he clearly just is trying to make a sellable product. He's no longer following the mission of how we originally created this. The board people he talks to, they all agree we need to fire him. Sam Altman is in Las Vegas at the time.
Cool.
They call him and they say, hey, you're fired. And Sam Altman immediately flies back to San Francisco and he's like, gathers his best buds
He drives an
who
F1
work for
car.
OpenAI. He's like, what do we do? We got to think tank this. We got to figure this out. And he comes up with kind of a genius PR ploy to talk to his connections at Microsoft. At this point, Microsoft has a large
$13 billion investment
in the company. And
To help fight against dangerous AI.
like Sam Altman is the charismatic guy who got Microsoft to invest and pulled in all of these smart AI people and even half the board, right? So then he has all these people on their side. He kind of convinces Microsoft, hey, say you'll pull out if I'm not the CEO. I mean, he doesn't say it like that. He's more charismatic than me. And
Please don't say that about yourself. That's very cruel. He's very charming for San Francisco, but if you put him in like a room with two
He's a
people that have
business
like worked in retail,
charmer,
he'll
I would
crumble.
say. He's the kind of guy that can like talk you into investing in his company.
it selects for a very specific type of person that isn't like a real world person. It's a person that can massage the billionaire
Exactly.
class of investors.
Yes.
Well, and many people have said, many people who are smarter about AI, who know more about AI, have said, Sam Altman doesn't know that much about AI.
No.
He's just a charismatic businessman.
I do think there's like a reverse impact for like in that environment. I think there's something to like riding the uncanny valley between kind of boring, like kind of detached and kind of out, but forward and with a little voice tone, because it's like, well, this guy's so fucking boring. He must be good at what he's talking
Well, also,
about.
he can convince you that he is a super smart tech guy with his kind of slightly boring.
He must be good at computers because he's ugly and boring.
And he'll say stuff like in the article, he says to Ronan Farrow, oh my God, decision fatigue is actually really real. That's why I wear a gray sweater and slacks every day. And it's
do
like,
this
no,
anymore.
it's not. That was a decision you made to have a costume like Steve Jobs.
No one can do this anymore. We cannot keep having this conversation about wearing the same hoodie every day is more efficient. So it's not showering.
I feel like there's going to be like someone's going to finally do the brain scans and be like, oh yeah, it's actually like a different part of your decision center that does the outfits part.
Yes. Actually, not even close.
Yeah. It's like, do I want eggs or bacon or fuck?
Help me! That's not impressive to me. It's such a common refrain for guys like this.
Like those are the same difficulty to you deciding if we should AI build the nukes or you should wear a red t-shirt.
I think I'd rather work with the guy who knows what to wear.
Yeah.
I have Velcro shoes because the laces are too crazy.
He's like, all right, so what do we do? Do we build weapons of war? I chose my outfit today. I don't have it.
I burned myself out on one egg or two.
Yeah.
But that's like the important thing. Like, this is all a performance. Every time he talks to anyone who interviews him, it's a performance.
If I'm honest, like he doesn't sound particularly smart. He just talks slow.
Yeah.
Well, he does the considered pauses, which I think is, it's like a trick. It's kind of the opposite of Ben Shapiro talking really fast, so he seems smart. It is a like, because Peter Thiel does the same thing. He goes, I'll think about that. He's mugging.
This is my Sam.
Peter Thiel has come up twice now, so I'll just say that Sam Altman met his husband in Peter Thiel's hot tub.
Hell yeah, dude.
He's just floating around.
He scoops him with one of those nets.
There's something in the plug.
Come to my home.
It's a little compliment. Here's a swamp.
Welcome, my miniature husband.
The miniature husband.
Yeah, he lives in the pool.
Help me.
Help me! I can't swim.
He's stuck in the bathtub.
I live here, but I can't swim.
There are a lot of rumors that are brought up in this article about how people, especially his like competitors or whatever, have spread rumors that he like dated teen boys and stuff like that. And he's like, it's not true. And then Ronan Farrow wrote, yeah, we actually have no evidence to support this. And it does kind of just feel like rumors with zero detail that were spread to defame him. So it's like,
Oh, it's a Musk. Okay, right. Yeah.
like, don't listen to this. This isn't
That's-
the
yeah.
criticism we need to care about.
Yeah.
There's so much more.
By
that
the
we
way,
can
I
criticize
think
him
it's
for.
like, maybe this is, I don't know if this is woke or unwoke of me to say, but like Ronan Farrow is also gay.
Yes.
And I trust Ronan Farrow to navigate this critique of Sam Altman while not engaging in like any of the like homophobia attacks
yeah.
and stuff.
Well, and just not getting stuck on the like rumory stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And that's kind of a, because I don't know, it's maybe like a journalist of like lesser pedigree. I'd have
Yes.
less
Could they probably emphasize it?
faith
maybe
in
a
their
bit more.
ability to navigate
Yeah.
that.
I'd
I
also,
agree with
if
you.
I'm even like tangentially connected to Elon Musk, don't bring up that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh
bring
my
up
God.
the age. Don't get into that. Just
So there's another guy on the board who's like really good buds with Sam Altman, and I'm pretty sure his name is Lawrence Summers. The funny thing
Wait.
about these accusations
Larry
against
Summers. Wait, huh?
I could be wrong.
No, it is.
Oh, it is Larry
the
Summers.
president,
Like
yeah.
Lawrence Summers.
Oh,
I've never heard
shit.
Lawrence Summers before.
Wait, I actually know former Facebook CTO Brett Taylor.
Oh, that's
Oh, you met
funny.
in a Helto.
Yeah, I went to a dinner once at Quip. He founded this company called Quip. But anyway,
That seems
But
weird.
these are what, new board? Oh, so
No,
we'll get the
they're
perfect.
OG board people, but they're in Sam Altman's pocket. Like they got brought
No,
on
Brett, no.
by him, like,
Larry.
and they stayed loyal to him throughout. But the funny thing about that is Lawrence Summers was in the Epstein emails
A
Yeah.
lot.
asking Jeffrey
lot.
Epstein for advice
Oh my
because he
God,
was in
yeah.
love with his very young protege.
Oh no.
And it's like,
I actually didn't know what he said in the Epstein things. That sucks.
that's in this article. I learned it from this article.
Larry Summers has some of the most, like, same with like a lot of that the Bill Gates correspondent stuff, where it's like, oh my God, not only are you amongst this cohort, but you're also embarrassing yourself. Like, you are already a monster.
Yeah.
And there are also emails of you been like, how do I talk to the one that I like?
It's so funny that it says Harvard President Lawrence Summers and not former
Yeah.
United States Secretary of the Treasury. But anyways, I digress. So if you ask Sam Altman, which the story of how he got his job back, he's like, we were all hunkered down in my house in San Francisco, and I did not sleep. I didn't eat.
don't
We
care.
had this think tank, blah, 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 blah. But if you ask other people, it's like he just kind of manipulated all these other people who had power to convince the board to undo what they did.
The biggest issue with this is that like you can't be a nonprofit and then have investors in all these for-profit companies because like they do not share the same code of ethics that
No.
you share as like the whole reason that you were like, we have to do it to be the good guy so that Google can't do it. You can't have Google on your board and then weaponize their lack of.
But you guys are not
Tact.
allowed to go. You guys have to promise to be nice.
And it's like Google isn't technically on the board, but it's like you can't convince me $13 billion from Microsoft isn't effectively the same thing.
Yeah.
So anyways, he gets his job back. And
Wow, Sammy got his groove back.
the article says that when he became CEO, the board didn't realize that Sam Altman had kind of created his own little secret board. That's kind of how he got his job back.
This is like in Survivor where you like to win you only need a majority on the jury. So
Yeah, you don't need to be
you only need
mutually.
you only need 51% of the jurors to side with you.
It's like, I fucking hate you. I was like, yeah.
So if
that's
you
fine.
carve out a good group of 4 in the secret cavernous freaking conference room, then there you go.
I highly recommend reading this article. It is fascinating because there are so many weird, like this is just what big business is in America and probably other countries, but there's just so many weird backroom deals and people lying to each other. And like, Sam Altman had this Survivor New Year's Eve party.
No way.
At his...
There's a Survivor connection. 1, after I just said Survivor. 2, after we just talked about the PLEX holiday party.
So he had a Survivor
And he got E. coli.
New Year's Eve party at his Hawaii house. Jeff Probst came
No!
and ran a couple little games or whatever.
Dude, they
And-
probably paid him so much money.
Oh, for sure. Especially because it's New Year's Eve. It's like a holiday, you know? Or maybe Jeff Probst is friends with him. I don't know. But anyways,
Say it ain't so, Jeff.
I hope it's just money. I hope it's just cash.
Please just do it for cash.
some of the people that were there were just like big wig. Like it's like he got rich enough that he could kind of woo people with parties at his house and stuff.
A photograph shows a number of shirtless, smiling men, and also Jeff Probst, the real host of Survivor. So
You know,
he's
Jeff
wearing-
Probst had his pockets on.
He has his pockets, that like weird little strap that goes
Yeah.
over his rolled sleeves.
Did he? That shit never comes off.
Cargo shorts.
Those pockets stay on.
He's a never nude, but for pockets.
for pockets. If I don't have at least, if every point on my body is not 6 inches from a pocket,
I need utility clothes, tip to top, underwear, 3 straps.
This sentence is gross. Altman has also hosted smaller groups of friends at his properties, gatherings that have included, in at least one instance, a spirited game of strip poker. A photograph of the event, which did not include Altman, leaves unclear who won, but at least 3 men clearly lost.
That's just
that's a
poker.
good zinger from Ronan Farrow right there.
I will also say, okay, I have an opinion about strip poker. I think it is performative in the sense that's like, yeah, it's like getting like doing a keg stand. It's like, yeah, we had strip poker. We're so crazy at my place, dude. Every single bottle of Jack Daniels I have, I've kept on a wall lined up so you can see how crazy I am.
So the whole rest of the article goes into detail about how much Sam Altman has lied. To the point where it's like he is kind of a pathological liar. And he even has said in so many words, he lies to get shit done, to get what he wants.
Love Survivor.
Multiple people
He's thinking about this shit like Survivor.
multiple people have quoted him as saying it's not really about money for him, but it is about power.
I think you can. I think once you're in the Billy, I think nothing. Like it's not really about money. Like okay, it would be if you
I
had
know,
no
but
money.
I think that money's begetting power.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's his ultimate goal. Like that's why he's doing all of this.
Yeah, it's like Epstein wasn't rich, but he was able to get proximity to power, and then the richness came somehow.
You supersede currency. It's just yeah.
And
I don't know why everybody was always hanging out there.
and he has contradicted himself so much. Like that interview on Jimmy Fallon, he's like, no, I just think AI could figure out a way to give us an infinite source of reusable power. But then so many times he has talked about how, like within the company, about how it would be really awful if AI takes over the power grid and denies us power. It's like, which one is it?
Yeah, I guess that would be
maybe
bad.
it's neither, and maybe it's both.
For
you know?
years,
bad
we've
if-
been looking for ways to raise my kids.
Oh my god!
God.
That
Thankfully,
is
there's
such a
finally an
creepy-
AI that can do it.
I don't know how I would have raised my kids without AI. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what about
Well, mainly because I'm a husk of a man.
my parents weren't able to do it?
I think ultimately the thesis of the article is like, don't believe anything this guy says.
And again, I do think he gets a little bit of camouflage from being meek. I
Yeah.
do think that, like, hey, you know, a little fella like me? Oh, I wouldn't be able to tell a lie to save a ladybug.
Dag nabbit, Mr. Fallon.
I couldn't raise my kid.
never did. I never did think I could raise a kid.
And now I can with AI.
I had to look up, what do you do with a poopy diaper? It said keep it.
Mr. Fallon, all I want's another $1 billion.
It's
Don't
okay.
you want to live in a world where we're just all skipping in the sun?
The fuck?
He's the musical guest.
I like that this is our impression of Sam Altman now. I'm just a little guy.
I'm just a little
guy.
Hello there. I'm just a little orphan boy.
Wait, why is he a chimney sweep
I'm
now?
just a little football.
I'm just a little boy.
Oh, yeah, just a little boy.
Oh, little boy.
All right, well, that was interesting.
It's a very long article.
Shout out Ronan Farrow. I love a long larticle is what I call it.
Shout
And
out
it's
to the
very detailed and has great comics in it.
Shout out to New York for providing us a fair amount that we read today. If you want more investigative journalism, we do. We recorded the Boyz Nightz first today. That's why it's not just incredible foresight that we're saying these things, but we did a little bit of investigative journalism.
I just read a New York Times piece and I'm telling you about it. Very similar to what Anastasia just did.
But we also made fun of. It was not written by as competent a journalist.
Well, yeah, it's a journalist that I respected a lot, and I definitely lost some. Like it was like when you give a bad dialogue option.
Oh my God.
And it's
Jarvis hated that.
Jarvis hated that. Jarvis hated that. Jarvis hated that.
Is you like with a little minus?
Yeah. It's me getting upset at a journalist regarding the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. So we talk about that, and then we also talk about our favorite video game in the world, Final Fantasy VII. Don't quote us on that, but we're having a good time.
And I show up.
And then Anastasia shows up halfway through.
While Jarvis is reading Hamlet. Again, it's very sophisticated.
Very sophisticated episode of Sad Boyz Nightz on patreon.com/sadboys.
Well.
We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase.
We love you.
And we're sorry.
We're sorry.
I hate that.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it.
Girl, too rich for me.